Salutations to the nations. What's good, Angel Knots? It's your boy Young Sinai, and today we are going to be talking about the second best Pokemon game of all time. Not the first, but the second. Hands down, no other Pokemon game is topping it. Pokemon Legends Arceus. I've been a fan of Pokemon basically my entire life, okay? I've been playing Pokemon for over 20 years. Some of y'all ain't even 20 years old. Pikachu, some of y'all daddy. You know what I'm saying? I've played Pokemon Blue when it first came out. I've been a fan of the anime series since I was a kid. I remember the first episode of Pokemon launching. It was at 6:30 in the morning. I remember I was eating breakfast before school and it changed my life. I said, from this day forward, I want to be the very best that no one ever was. To catch them is my true quest. To train them is my cause. And I have taught my kids to want to be Pokemon trainers when they grow up. One of the dope things about this game is it's a semi-open world game that has all different types of biomes. You got your forests, you got volcanoes, parts that are completely covered in ice, and you get to travel around this world on different Pokemon. You can fly, you can climb, you can travel over water, and you get to see Pokemon roaming the world in their own little habitats, out hanging out with each other. You see a bunch of Pikachus out having a rap battle, you know what I mean, and break dancing. And you might see a Snorlax just knocked out, chilling. It's so dope. It makes you feel like you are actually in a Pokemon world. Like you can get immersed in it. The point of the game is you're building the world's first Pokedex. This is before there were electronics. So instead of your Samsung Pokedex, you're building your notebook Pokedex, and he's taking notes, and you might have to see, 6 Pikachus do a, electric shock and different Pokemon moves. I don't remember Pokemon moves, even though I am a Pokemon trainer. Don't question my Pokemon validity. And you'll have to see a certain amount of Pokemon and capture it in your Pokedex. And then you bring it to the professor, and that's basically the game loop. And you can beat the game without completing the Pokedex, but that is the main objective of the game. They also have Alpha Pokemon, which are these huge, enormous Pokemon with red eyes. And you might have a small Pikachu, but then you'll have a large Alpha Pikachu. And this little dude, he'll walk up with his red eyes and he'll knock you in the face. That's one of the things that's dope about this game is, as the trainer, you can also get hurt too. It's not only dealt out to your Pokemon, but it's been plenty of times where I've been walking around and all of a sudden a Pokemon is attacking me and I'm running, trying to get away, and then it knocked me out and I dropped a bunch of items. Another thing that's really dope is that it has really cool crafting mechanics. So you can be out and about and you may see a tree that's full of berries and you can throw your Pokemon out and it can hit the tree and knock down the berries, and then you can use those to formulate Pokeballs or potions or different things like that. So that's really cool experience. So as you go into the town, a lot of the NPCs may have different fetch quests for you. They might say, hey, I want to know if you've seen a Pokemon sitting on a toilet. And then you see a Pokemon sitting on a toilet, then you be like, hey, you go back and say, hey, I saw a Pokemon sitting on a toilet. And they're like, that's really cool. So different fetch quests like that. One of my favorite things to do in this game isn't even the storyline. It's to run around the game and catch Pokemon and chill. It's such a relaxing game. I love the art style. I know a lot of people hate the art style, but I feel like it's going to hold up over time. Kind of like Wind Waker. I love that you can throw out your Pokemon and you can just see them standing next to each other and standing next to you, and sometimes they'll interact with you. If you walk up and hit speak, then they might talk to you, or they might stand next to each other and kind of sort of talk to each other, like how like Furbies back in the day, like you could sit a Furby next to another Furby and he'd be like, and then the other Furby be like, hi, no. So that's kind of what your Pokemon are doing back and forth to each other, like kind of interacting but kind of not interacting. It's kind of cool, I guess. I like to go around and throw my Pokemon out of their Pokeballs and take pictures with my Pokemon like it's real life. and then I'll take the pictures and I will post them on my social media as my profile picture because I'm just that much of a geek. You can also go to an actual photo studio and take pictures with your Pokemon and pose with them, which is also pretty cool. Some things that I don't like about this game is I hate the fact that I do feel lonely playing this game at times. It's not an online multiplayer game, so it does get pretty lonely running around this big empty world. I know that Scarlet and Violet offer multiplayer, but honestly, those games look trash to me. No disrespect if you love that game, if it's your favorite Pokemon game, but it honestly looks trash to me. I will never be purchasing that game. It had a ton of glitches that people could not stop talking about, and the game just didn't look fun. The art style didn't look dope. I didn't like the fact that you had to run around in a school kid uniform. I didn't like the fact that you couldn't throw out a Pokeball. See, that's one of the dope things about this game is that you can duck down low and then you can throw a Pokeball kind of like in a stealth mode, man. It's so dope. It feels like throwing a grenade almost. So that's something that's super dope about this game, and it doesn't have it. So wish that the Pokemon can actually follow you around. I love the fact that you can take them out, but if they could just follow you around like on the anime, like that would add a whole nother level to this game. That would be so dope. But now when you take the Pokemon out, you'll throw them out of the Pokeball and then you'll run away, and instead of them following you, they'll just go back in their Pokeball. One of the main things I hate and cannot stand about this game is that there's no voice acting. I feel like that is absolutely unacceptable for Pokemon. I looked it up. Pokemon is worth 118 billion with the B as in Bob's Burgers, and they can't set aside some money for people to do voice acting. That's ridiculous. They have a Pokemon anime. Just use some of the anime actors. Just go on fiverr.com and hire people to do the voiceovers. That would be better than just seeing people moving their mouths with nothing coming out, like and no words, and having to read paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs of text. That is so annoying. They need to change that. That is unacceptable. It's games with lower budgets, indie games that have voice acting. That is unacceptable. One of the things I don't like about this game as a Christian is I don't like the whole Pokemon deity aspect. Like, the main thing is that the Pokemon god Arceus is like calling you on your Pokemon god phone and giving you quests on what to do and blah blah blah. I ignore all of that crap. As well as like the boss fights, you're supposed to be like giving offerings to these Pokemon gods. I just ignore all of that crap and I just play it mindlessly and just say, hey, I'm just chugging sacks at this Pokemon. Like, I don't like all of that crap. That's just me personally as a Christian. But this game is one of the dopest Pokemon games I've played in my entire life, and I'll pray that they continue the Legends series. Like, seriously, it is so dope. It means a lot to me as well because this is the first game that me and my daughter actually completed together. It took us about a year and we finally completed it. So I'll never forget that day. That was awesome. But if you haven't played Legends Arceus, please check it out. If you hate the game, let me know in the comments. If you think it's the dopest game, let me know. If you think it's the second dopest, but you have a first dopest, let me know that. I will be letting you all know what I think is the first dopest Pokemon game of all in another video. But thank you all. God bless. Salutations to the nations, Angel Knots.